Welcome, Wastelanders, to a tutorial video on how to download my settlements and make them your own. This is actually quite simple. This might seem a bit overwhelming if you look at all the tabs I have open up at the top there. It's going to seem kind of like you have a lot to do, but in the beginning maybe, but it's pretty simple, I promise. So the first thing you want to do is head on over to Nexus Mods and make sure you have Vortex installed. This is a mod manager for Fallout 4. I'm assuming most of you have already set up things for modding. If you have not, look up videos on YouTube on how to do that. You're going to need to do Fallout 4 script extender. In order to do pretty much all mods. So I'm assuming that you already have that done. If not, just go ahead and do a quick search on how to mod Fallout 4. But I'm assuming, again, that you have all that done, that you have Vortex, install Vortex. Right here is what Vortex looks like. Like I said, it is a mod manager that once you download your mods, you use this to enable them. You can also get them directly through Bethesda. You're going to have to do that for some of the mods that are needed to have my settlements, basically. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So okay, you've downloaded and installed Vortex. You already know how to do all that kinds of modding and whatnot. So how do you get one of my settlements? So you're going to need this mod here, Shareable Settlement Blueprints. All these mods are going to be in the description below so that you can just click on them and follow what I'm doing. So assuming again that you have Vortex, go ahead and click that link right there. That'll download that, and then once you have downloaded it, you will see it over here in the Mods tab. Go over, click on these little guys right here, and then just click Enable, and it will install it and enable it for you. So now you have that installed. So once you've installed that, go ahead and start up Fallout 4. Let the game load into whatever profile you want, and then you're going to exit the game. You want to do that so that this mod here will install the folders that are needed in order to do the rest of this. So now that you have installed this, you have started your game and stopped your game. Now let's go ahead and get on into this. So I have, as of right now, 2 settlements up and ready for you all to download. We have Shawhank Prison on Spectacle Island and Tenpines Castle. This one was a huge hit among all you people out there, so of course, I had to make it available for you all. I did this beforehand so that these would be ready to go for you. So once again, you can go ahead and download these. Not sure if Vortex will put them in the correct spot, so I would suggest that you do a manual download. Now, once you have manually downloaded them, go to whatever folder they happen to be stored in, and we're going to take that folder. So let's see, right now, if we come into here, I have already done ahead and put these into a folder. So this is basically what you're going to see is a zip file like this. So you're going to go ahead and extract, and boom, now you have Shawhank. If you open up Shawhank, you're going to see the README text. That's basically going to tell you what mods you need to have in order to make this your own. And right here we have folder number 1. Inside there is the actual blueprints. Now, when you go to download one of these mods, you're going to see right here a requirements list. You have to have all of Fallout 4's DLC, and you have a whole list here of different mods that you're going to need to download. These are from Bethesda. These are ones that you can find right here on Nexus Mods. So each one of these has to be downloaded and installed in order for you to do this. I know it's going to seem kind of like a lot, but it's basically just like I was showing. If you click on the links for each one of them, click right there on the Vortex download them, install them, and within a few minutes you should be basically ready to go. So now, what we have to do is we have to take this folder right here that says number 1. For my other one, it's going to be number 2. You can rename these, and you'll understand what I'm talking about in a moment. So what are you going to do with that file? So you're going to go into your C drive. You're going to go into Program Files, x86. You're going to go down to Steam, Steam Apps, Common, and then Fallout 4, where your game is installed. Sorry. Then we're going to click on data. And then this is the folder that's going to get created basically once you have installed the blueprint mod itself, started your game, and then exited your game. You need to do that in order to have these folders that exist. So click on plugins, and then right here is transfer settlements. Now if you click in here, you have your blueprints and you have a readme text. It's basically going to say that you have to have this folder here in order to do this mod, which is kind of funny because you already have it now. So now you can see here, I already have my 1 and my 2 installed. So you're going to take that number 1 folder, you're going to copy it, and you're going to place it here in your blueprints folder, assuming that you have never done any of this before. If you have, and you have like a million of these, you'll have to give it its own individual number. But as it stands, you can just put these right in here just like this if you have never done this before. Okay, so right before we delve into the game itself, this is one other mod that I want to point out that is going to be extremely helpful. If you have another one that you want to use that makes your settlements larger, that's fine, you can go ahead and use that, but this is the particular one that I use. It's Settlement Border Expansion Project. You can get it directly from Bethesda's website, and just like the title says, it's going to make your borders for each settlement larger so that you have a bigger space to build in. That's very important that you have that ability, because a lot of the settlements that I build end up taking up more space than the vanilla game allows. So make sure that you do that, as well as there's going to be 2 mods in the description for scrapping. Very, very important, because a lot of these you're going to have to be able to scrap things that you normally couldn't just using the vanilla game. One of which is called Scrap Everything. You can get that on either Bethesda's website or on Nexus Mods, and the other one is called Scrap All the Things, which you will find here on Bethesda's website. Scrap All the Things allows you to get rid of different buildings and such that you normally couldn't get rid of, like on Spectacle Island, the blue house that's all trashed, and some of those other structures, you can actually now get rid of them completely. So very, very important to download those mods as well. Okay, welcome to the next part of the tutorial. So now we are actually inside the game, and as you can see, I have started the workshop up, and my borders are extended out way further than the vanilla game normally allows. Now, one of the things you need to do, and I cannot stress this enough, is you have to clear basically everything from the entire settlement here. So we're going to go ahead and scrap pretty much everything. You can leave stuff like the rocks here, but it's basically like all the bushes, all of the trees, and any and all buildings, as well as this. You have to get rid of the entire garden here. So we're going to head and scrap that, and you can save these for later if you want to rebuild the garden, etc. That's totally up to you. But you want to get rid of all the walls, all these bushes, all the trees. And now the scrapping mods that I had pointed out earlier, extremely important, because now you can see we can get rid of this entire building here. And so just keep going through and scrapping everything. As you saw, we got rid of the building, we can get rid of the bed. This will also allow you to get rid of dead animals and whatnot. As you can see, we have one over here. We can just go right up to that and scrap it to clear out everything so that we have a nice, fresh, clean settlement to work with here. So I'm going to go ahead and skip through all of that, and you will join me back here when this is completely clear. Okay, now we have the entire settlement completely barren. I have gotten rid of everything, all the buildings, all the trees, stumps, pretty much everything. There are going to be some things that you can scrap. If you look, it shows up like this that you can scrap it, but normally this kind of stuff I usually leave in place, like the rocks and eroded cliffs, etc. Those things I leave in place. These are actually going to play an integral part, so please make sure you do not scrap things like this, because I did include them in my settlement design. So now that we have that done, let's go ahead and open up our Pip-Boy. And if we go into inventory and to miscellaneous, scroll all the way down. Depending on how much stuff you have, this could take a moment, but we're going to go ahead and go all the way down to the very, very bottom. And then we have right here, settings, transfer, settlements. So we're going to go ahead and open that. Then we are going to go to import a settlement. Now, if you go into the general settings, you can see all these different choices you can have for animations. Um, that's totally up to you, depending on which ones you want to turn on. Like for when electricity starts up, you'll actually get a thunderstorm and lightning will come out of the sky. You can also get things like whether or not they pop up from the ground or drop down from the sky. That's completely up to you. Like, let's see, we can have scanning sounds, comments that the character is going to make while things are being imported, all kinds of cool stuff. So we are actually going to do that guy right there, just for a little fun, just to kind of show you what kind of awesome things are included in this mod. But again, that's completely up to you. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and go back, and we are going to go to import a settlement from a blueprint. So now it's going to look, and it's going to show you the two folders that I showed you before. See, we have number 1 and number 2. So we are at Tenpines Bluff, so we're going to be selecting number 2. So now why these numbers are important is because these are filling slots. So if you have never done this before, that's why you should leave them alone as slot number 1 and slot number 2, and so on and so forth. And again, if you end up having a whole bunch of these and you want to use one of them, just simply change the number. You can make it slot number 10 or 15. I forget exactly how many are in, or this mod is capable of. So we're going to select number 2. And now our blueprint pops up. So we're going to go ahead and hit A for take it. And now here's what you have to do. Import original items not built by the player. That one's not necessarily important because, as you saw, we scrapped basically everything. So we're going to uncheck that one. Import DLC items, import mods. Let's see. Don't have to worry about farm animals, tamed creatures, or any of that kind of stuff. Wire connections, restore snaps, so on and so forth. This is basically the 4 that you're going to need. So let's go ahead and click on import. And so this is going to take a little while as things start to suddenly pop up, and it basically is going to build itself. Very, very cool. And so slowly, one piece at a time, it is going to build the entire settlement for you. So we will come back at the end when it is all done. Okay, as you can see, we're getting very close to 90%. If you look right above the title of the location, you can see just how many items we are importing. 2,312. So it could take a little while. I do not have the newest, fastest computer, and this is probably taking maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes to get to where we are right now. So this should not take you very, very long for most computers. Just be patient, let it do its thing. And you can actually start exploring once these buildings start popping into place. That's completely up to you. You don't have to wait for it to completely finish. You can actually walk around and follow it as it's building into place. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at what we got going on here. As you can see, you're going to hear things popping in all over the place. And there they go. We've got our bookcases for our library coming up through the ground and getting all up into place, so we are very, very close to finishing. But as you can see from my settlement tour video, this is an exact replica of what I had done. Okay, so once the settlement is done importing itself, you're going to get this little message that pops up right here. It's going to tell you that everything was a success with a number of items that were imported, in our case, 2,312. So go ahead and click on OK, and it's going to tell you that all of the add-ons all worked in successfully. It's going to give you a list of all the different ones we have installed. Go ahead and click OK on that. And one last step. Let's see. Now that everything is there, just give this. You have to basically give it a little time to settle in, I guess, is for lack of a better term. So go ahead and click OK. And now that everything is all set here, that's basically it. You go ahead, you import everything. Everything is here. Now, to make sure that this stays stable, as it was saying in that little warning right there, it tells you to leave the settlement and not come back to the settlement for a few in-game days. So just go ahead and pick a location to fast travel to. In this case, we're just going to head on over to Sanctuary to get away from here. And that's it. So you go ahead and you follow the tutorial here of downloading all the mods, install them, come here, import it, and then just leave the settlement. Come back after a few in-game days, and that's it. And you've got my settlement as your own. Looks like my game kind of froze here, so we're just going to go ahead and end the video right here. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this. If you got any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will answer them and try to help you with anything I possibly can. And I will see you next time. Until then, don't get irradiated.